Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Yoga. Jaya 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 Mahadeva. Jaya 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 Mahadeva. Shiva Shankar Adi Anant. Shiva Shankar Adi Anant. Jaya Jaya Jaya. Jaya Jaya. Jaya Jaya. Jaya 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 Mahadeva. Jaya 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 Mahadeva. Namaskaram. Namaskaram to all of you, wherever you are. Please. It's a bright sunny morning out here in Tennessee. Well, yesterday was a very misty morning. Light makes everything stark. It's the visual apparatus, all senses, but particularly our sense of vision, which functions well in light, does not function well in absence of light, which has fed our mind with information about this world as to what is black, what is white, how much trouble in this country what is good, what is bad, what is high, what is low. Well, they took it to another place and said what is God, what is devil. Geographically, what is heaven, what is hell No, the word geo is concerned with this planet. Geography is a wrong word, I'm sorry. Celestially. Celestial geography. Geography is the wrong word because geo means this. Anyway but in many ways, when things get foggy, it changes your perspective. So yesterday just I scribbled something. It's called mist. Misty morning brings a certain mingle. Misty morning brings a certain mingle, makes sky and earth tango, erases the borderlines of who is who and what is what. The magic of mist gets all into a mingle. Misty morning brings a certain mingle, makes sky and earth tango, erases the border lines of who is who and what is what. The magic of mist gets all into a mingle. While getting fogged out sounds negative, getting little foggy and feeling nice about it is very common with most human beings. They fog themselves in many ways. Some are very straightforward. They will use alcohol or drug to become foggy. When they're foggy, they feel Some will use the security of relationships and the pleasantness of love to fog themselves. They of course feel superior to those who are drugged out. But the most effective way of fogging yourself is you get identified with what you think is valuable. Virus is turning these things upside down, but your money, your wealth, once you get identified, you get fogged out. And of course you think you're superior to everybody else. Today in the world, if you say a big man in the town, nobody is talking about a big brain or a big heart. They mean a big pocket. That's a very effective way of doing it. That reminds me, there was a sage in Karnataka who during his own time was worshipped as a divine being. Many people in that generation thought or referred to him as an incarnation of Shiva himself, an incarnation of Adiyogi, because such was his clarity and such was his wisdom. But many great sages of the time gathered around him to be mentored, to be guided. One significant thing that he created was what was referred to as Anubhava Mantapa, that means a place to experience. It's a fantastic idea. That's what we're trying to create, a place to experience. So, I'm not able to recite the Kannada, though I knew this long time ago. Not been reading anything Kannada at all, not been reading anything. I'm just scared if I read too much, somebody may give me a PhD. Somebody already threatened one university in Gujarat, said, "Sadhguru, we want to give you a doctorate." I said, "For what?" They said something because of this, that, everything. Because somebody else from that university got a doctorate writing about my work. I said, that's good for him, he needs that, but I would be too embarrassed to be called Dr. Sathguru. Maybe it would have made my father happy, but he's no more, so I don't have to make him happy anymore. I didn't do too well making him happy when I was young, so now no need to make him happy, he's fine. I made sure he's fine, so no need to make him happy. Well, you need to understand this. Ignorance and enlightenment are like two sides of a coin, very close. Very close, back to back, but they will never meet. That's the nature of life. If you flip this way, you're ignorant, if you flip that way, you're enlightened, that's all it is. So, learning to get the right side of the coin is the whole game. But fogginess happens due to many things, but as I said, Allama was in his vachana says, he's a man who worked with hundreds and thousands of people, so this is coming from his experience with people. He says, if a man is drowning in the lake, you can still talk to him about truth. Actually, he may be more receptive than a whole lot of other people. If a man is frothing in his mouth because a cobra has bitten him, and he's on the way out, you can still talk to him about the truth about his life. But once a man becomes wealthy, money got into his head, you cannot talk to him. Something like this. He said it beautifully, I'm just saying it in English language. Poetry is one thing that's in translation it gets mutilated, but this is the meaning. He's saying if a man is drowning, losing his life, even then he's open. Man has been bitten by a cobra, frothing in his mouth, which is hard, I know this by experience, because your blood starts coagulating and the whole system struggles. Even in that state, you can talk to him. But a man has got money in his head, can't talk to him. Money in the pocket, we have no problem. Money in the head, big problem. You cannot talk to him. So this happened once. This is in another lifetime, okay? Don't judge him today. Shankaran Pillai was an ardent spiritual seeker, top class one. And at a young age, he went and started serving his guru every day and full on. No sense of myself, simply giving himself absolutely. Then somebody donated a piece of land. The guru walked about the land and pointed out a particular spot and told Shankaran Pillai, you dig a well here, find water. I'm going somewhere else, I have something else to do, I will come back soon. You have the water ready, we will build a temple after I come. Of course, right earnest, even before Guru is walking away, he started digging. Well, then it so happened, within 20 feet of digging in a few days, he found a whole lot of treasure hidden in a metal pot. He picked this out and the Guru, no sign of him. Days he sincerely kept it for Guru to come and decide what to do. Of course, he forgot about the water. Like a lot of people have forgotten about these things, now the virus is reminding them. They stored up all the wrong things. So he kept the treasure safe, but forgot about the water and waited for the Guru. Every day he looked out, no sign of that man. Weeks, months, years passed. 5 years later, the Guru came back. By then, Shankaran Pillai had invested this treasure, bought lots of lands, property, become a rich man, has been elected as the leader of the village panchayat, and full powerful and rich man, full on, married. The Guru came back. Then, oh my God, the most unwelcome. Then the Guru came and said, what happened to the well? You found water? He said, no, I found treasure. Really, Sadhguru, I waited for 60 days for you. You didn't turn up. 60 days I waited. But then I invested, I bought land, I bought property, and now I'm a leader and I'm well-to-do, I'm married. That's okay, but now you have a lot of money, let's build a temple anyway. And above all, you wanted to be initiated into the path, let's do that and build the temple. Shankaran Pillai said, no, you're 5 years too late. At that time, I was ready, absolutely, because I had nothing. Now all this has happened and now you're saying you're going to initiate me? No. So this is what Allama said, that there's lots of vairagya when people have nothing. The moment they have something, it'll go to their head, they don't understand. Things are there, we need to use them. Well, if only people understood that there is no way, there is simply no way to enhance one's life with anything other than clarity of life. Clarity of perception, clarity of vision, there's simply no other way. Well, for somebody's eyes, you dress well because it matters to somebody, to enhance their vision. But this won't get enhanced because if you wear some kind of clothing. It won't get enhanced because you wear one stupid crown on your head. Crown is the most idiotic thing because it's such an uncomfortable thing, it's not even a hat. See, this is nice, it's well, comfortable. But you feel enhanced. Well, the certainty that you arrive at because of things that you have gathered, of relationships, of little emotional pleasantness in your life, is not clarity. Certainty is not clarity. Certainty is the dumbest way to exist. What I failed in, virus is giving lessons these days. Well, confidence is definitely not clarity. It's again, confidence is coming from something that you've acquired. Maybe your PhD, maybe money in the bank, maybe something else around you which boosts you, little power or wealth. Courage is not clarity either. Courage is a very efficient way of getting blind. Well, it may produce some results, people may appreciate it, but it's not clarity. Clarity arises in you only when you stand aside. When I say you, it's a whole lot of things. There is no you as one entity. There's a whole lot of things huge amount of accumulated karma. It's a web. Web is a good thing because we're looking for something to eat. You know, a spider builds a web because he needs to eat something. Well, he makes sure the design is good so that he gets to eat all his life. Like we also do many things, our jobs, our economy, our industry. These are all webs to survive. It's fine, we're not against those things. But if you think your life is enhanced because of that, no, no, no. Your enhancement of life is only looking at somebody who is doing worse than you. Otherwise, this will not get enhanced. There is no way to enhance this with what you accumulate, it just cannot happen. Enhancement of more, which is right now ripping the planet apart, this happened one day. A burglar was arrested. Any of you? I'm just checking, I don't know what's your profession because you're all masked these days. Generally, it is that profession which wore masks like this. Now all of you are masked, so I don't know what's your pro? See, that guy with a hat and a mask, he is looking like that. No, Sadhguru, hat for the sunlight in my face and mask for the virus. Good, very responsible thing to do right now. So, burglar was arrested. And that judge saw him because he's been a customer for a long time. He said, "What is your problem? I checked out on you. You have made enough money, you have enough wealth. Why are you still doing this?" So the burglar said philosophically, the judge, "You know, my lord, more you have, more you want." The judge looked at him and said, 10 years, how much more do you want? So, you need to understand, if you get into more you have, more you want, all you got is imprisonment. Enslavement is all you got, forced labor. Oh, right now the world is suffering immensely because the virus has freed them from forced labor for 4 months. We are still working. But most people are sitting at home and suffering immensely. Suffering is reaching such a point, they are fearing a mental health pandemic in the coming few months. They are saying, post-virus situation, if there is such a thing, because there is a doubt if there is such a thing, post-virus situation, there could be a suicide pandemic. Whole lot of people, when they realize their accumulated wealth is gone, their jobs may be gone, many things that they thought is the basis of their life is gone, there could be a suicide pandemic. Well, this is a very unfortunate reality. This reality is not because of the virus, because virus jumping from animals to humans has been happening all the time. In many ways, they have played a significant role in the evolution of who we are. So that is a natural phenomena, maybe a little forced this time around, because we are just taking away their habitat, so they may be finding new habitat, and they found us. Well, that is something that's happened by nature. Or some people claim conspiracies behind it. We do not know how, but whichever way it's happened. But now why are human beings, we as human beings, who… you think Charles Darwin made a mistake? Hello? Because these days there are so few monkeys, do you think human beings evolved into monkeys? Just a few of them evolved, rest of us are still like this. I'm beginning to wonder because human beings who are supposed to be the most evolved and the most intelligent on the planet have made themselves like this, that the fragile structures that they have built around themselves, they thought they are permanent. And if it collapses or threatens to collapse, they think life is not worth living. They don't even think life is not worth living. The pain and suffering that they cause to themselves is of such intensity, it's better to die, unfortunately. Well, if we must change, this is the best time to change, because the value of life is not in what we are doing. The value of life is not because of who we are in the world. The value of life is in terms of what is invested in us. Millions of years of evolution invested in us. If this is not valuable, how come your stupid house or bank balance or something else is more valuable? Oh, Sadhguru, you don't have any of such problems, so you're talking all this, it's easy for you, you know, I have to pay my house rent. Maybe you have the responsibility of 3 or 4 people around you, I have the physical responsibility of a few thousand people on me. And we are also sitting here, locked down completely for 4 months, all over the world, none of our centers or programs, nothing functioning. It is not that we don't have challenges, we have more challenges than most families have. We just conduct it joyfully, so people think we don't care. This is the problem. Lot of people think to show that they care means they must be suffering and going around with one terrible face all over the place. This is their idea of concern. No, no. If you are like that, we are concerned about you. What concern and care can you give to anybody? At least if you are in such a way, no matter what is the situation, you are fine, you can afford to be concerned about other people. You can afford to be compassionate. You can afford to reach out. When you yourself think you're carrying the planet on your head, then what can you do? So, the challenge is there for every one of us. The question is only now to prioritize our life. Things in our life is more important, what we possess is more important, or who we are is more important. This is a decision you have to make. I'm seeing the virus is really pushing you towards enlightenment. What I could not do. Because you found that little treasure, you know. I asked you to find water which will sustain your life, but you found that little treasure. At least Ankaran Pillai found a vessel full of gold. You… nothing like that, no pot of gold, just a little treasure. Of course, with bills to pay and loans to pay, but still, you got enhanced because you got a job or you got some money or you got some wealth. So it's good. A lot of people, in India, those who are well-to-do, at least 2 times, 3 times in a month, weekends they're going away to France or Dubai is one of their favorite places, I don't know why, but Dubai or some other place, a lot of activity in Dubai. Maybe it's a desert, but they built a city, which is attractive for certain people. So every other weekend they were just flying away. Now they're terrified of getting into the airplane, so they've not gone anywhere for 4 months and feeling suffocated in a large country like India. Feeling really suffocated because they're not able to go, because summer means they were in Antarctica. Yes, it's become a fashion in India, I don't know if it is so in United States. Everybody is going to Antarctica. Vacation place. One place human beings should not step on is South Pole at least. You went and put your stupid flags on North Pole and did so many things, at least South Pole, you should leave it alone. But no, everybody is vacationing in Antarctica. So, I'm not trying to make fun of people's longings to do whatever. I'm also for adventure, all right. But don't think it enhances your life. By going to North Pole or South Pole, it doesn't enhance your life. I have been to the Mount Everest. I can't see your expressions. All of you masked like this. No, somebody took me there. A naval officer from Indian Navy climbed Mount Everest and he took a picture with my picture in his hands. So I've been there. Because that's all they get, a picture. I am smiling, they are all… in that picture I am smiling, but they are like this. So I went there smiling, even Mount Everest, see, serious challenges physically, all right. Oh, very serious challenge, it's not a small challenge. But people get there, so I asked him, how is it? I mean, what is it that, with such a humongous effort means almost inhuman on your body, that kind of effort. Fine, it's great that human beings are willing to take such challenges, but what is it? How was it? So he is a honest man. He said, Sadhguru, I'm trained in Indian Navy, I'm very super fit, as you can see, and this has been my ambition to climb Mount Everest since I was like a young boy. And I worked for that and applied in the Navy. Not everybody gets selected, you had to prove so many things that you're capable of. You lived for that one thing, that you want to get to top of Mount Everest, 28,000 feet plus. Helicopters won't get there, all right? So, as I was going up, bad weather was threatening us. By the time you go from the base camp towards the mountain, it generally gets like 3 o'clock, 3:30. 4:35, once the sun starts going behind other mountains, that's it. After that you'll freeze right there. So you have to go there and come back quickly. And this has been my life's ambition, I'm super fit, I'm in the forces, a whole lot of equipment, support and everything for me. But this illiterate Sherpa, simply walking ahead of me with my bags. As if that was not insult enough. And he says, you just have another 12 minutes, still something is left, whatever number of meters to climb. If you don't make it, then we'll have to go back, he says. Well, he is the commander of the group. This illiterate guy tells him when to turn back. Then our officer, wherever he went breathless, he sat down and did some of the kriyas we had taught him and he made it. Then of course, as it was the mandate, he put up the Indian flag and stood there. I said, how long were you there on top of the mountain? How is it? What is the view? That I saw nothing, Sadhguru. Because we were there approximately 40 to 45 seconds. Put the flag, took a picture, and I pulled out your picture and he held my… he didn't have a picture, he had the book, Mystics' Musings. With that, he took a picture. I came out pretty well on the photo. And 45 seconds of glory and came down because weather was getting bad. So like this, we have lot of things. Somebody, a young man comes and tells me, he's already well-to-do. And he said, he was confused and doing lot of things. Parents were worried that, what is he doing? He's already 33, 34 years of age and an Indian boy, so he's still not married, they're worried about that. And they're also worried that he's coming to me. Double worry. And I'm the problem, I'm the solution, So they say, what to do with him, like this. I said, bring him, let's see. So they bring him. And then I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want $1 billion. I want to earn $1 billion, till then I won't marry. I said, if you have $1 billion, any goat will marry you. Nobody will marry you for you. If you have $1 billion, this happened. A 70-year-old man married an 18-year-old very beautiful girl. and he was a millionaire. So his friends asked, "How did you manage to get this young girl to marry you?" He laughed, a sleazy laugh. I said, "How did you do this?" He said, "I told her I'm 92." The more you have, the more you want. Everybody wants a good deal in life. Their good deal is just little more than their neighbor. Neighbor need not necessarily mean somebody who is living next door, somebody that you see as your competition, you know. You want to have little more than them, that's all. Your pleasure, forget about joy, your pleasure is not even what you have. Your pleasure is what somebody doesn't have, unfortunately. So one day Shankaran Pillai walked into grocery store post-pandemic, okay? And he said, "My friend Suresh, I heard that his grocery bills for the last 2 years, he's not paid and you're still giving him monthly grocery." The shopkeeper very hopefully said, "Oh, have you come to pay your friend's bills?" He said, "No, I want a similar deal." I also want the same deal. So, there are mistakes in life, there are blunders in life. Well, different people have different understanding of what is a mistake, what is a blunder. Mistakes we all make. Everybody makes mistakes. But blunder essentially means something a mistake that you can't recover from is a blunder. Mistake is a misstep, but you can correct. So Mark Twain had a different idea of what is a mistake and what is a blunder. He said, if you have a cotton umbrella and you went to a restaurant, but when you're leaving, by mistake, you picked up a silk umbrella, that is a mistake. But you had a silk umbrella, went to the restaurant, and on the way out you picked up the cotton umbrella, that is a blunder. Because one you can correct, another you cannot correct. So right now, this is all you need to make up your mind on. You need to look at your life and see what are the mistakes that you can easily correct, what are the things that you cannot correct. Now, if you are in that place that you have a list of things that you cannot correct, well, time to seriously look at this, because this is why people are predicting, United Nations agencies are predicting that there is going to be a mental health pandemic and a suicide pandemic. After seeing all the stats in the last few days, I decided that in some way we will stay with you, so I am announcing Dharshan on every Sunday, whatever, India time, 6 p.m. of course, till the end of the year. I'm making a mistake. It's a blunder, I cannot correct it. Once I've said I cannot correct it, it is a blunder. Please, if you have questions.
This question is from Rabendra Dutt. Namaskaram, Sadhguru. I'm doing my practice…
You just say some Indian guy, Anyway, nobody got the name.
Fair enough. Namaskaram, Sadhguru. I am doing my practices for the last 3 years regularly. I have heard a lot about Samadhi experience, and I have a very strong longing to experience such states. Is it possible to experience samadhi states with Isha practices? If not, what else can be done to experience such states?
Well, let's understand what is samadhi. Sama means equanimous, di means buddhi or the intellect. In the very nature of how you are right now, intellect you always understand as a discriminatory process. Its ability to discriminate which is valuable to you. Then if you make it equanimous, what is the point? It is like, intellect should be like a knife. If knife has no sharpness to cut, then what is a knife? This is a logical question. This question is coming from the limited nature of the intellect itself. So, this whole dimension of what we are referring to samadhi comes up because your understanding of the intellect as a cutting instrument and constantly using it like a scalpel to dissect everything, to analyze everything, to make conclusions with that analysis. Well, we started with mist. Well, when your intellect is sharp, it gives you a false sense of knowing everything. But it is cutting everything into pieces. As you cut it into more and more minute pieces, you begin to realize that you know less and less. As your knowledge improves, your knowing goes down. This is the world, its education systems, and our idea of learning and knowing is all this, that we think we can cut open everything and know everything. You should try yourself first. At least the problem would end. Instead of cutting open a frog, cutting open a cockroach, cutting open this and that, first you must try this. At least that'll end the problem. So samadhi is an illogical dimension, a dimension that your intellect cannot perceive. So a question about samadhi is not appropriate. But what to do 20th century? If I say, no, I'm not going to talk about this, they'll say, oh, I think Sadhguru doesn't know. Well well, that conclusion is going to rid me of all kinds of unnecessary people. But can I answer illogically or logically? No, you must understand this. Language is incapable of illogic. Language is a consequence of logic. Why only human beings have such evolved languages, others are just chattering around a little bit. Of course, now we are also tweeting. There's also chat, isn't it? There's also, like Twitter, there is some… No, I can't talk about that chat because that's banned here, I think. There are some other social media stuff which is called chat or chatter. Hey, this is a good one, huh? You can start a new one called chatter, like Twitter. So, other creatures are only chattering and tweeting and doing something, but we have such evolved language system simply because we have a logic. If there is no logic, there is no language. Language is a product of your logic. You cannot say anything illogical in any language. One language, a few Indian languages have come close to that, where you can try to describe something illogical, but still it's logical. Because when somebody speaks or writes, it has to be logical because the reader is logical. The understanding of language, the whole mechanism in our brain which grasps language is a logical dimension of our existence. So, talking about samadhi is no good, because the more we talk, we will go round and round, rig, ram, roll, not getting anywhere. But this is why I've been telling you, but well, I'm not complaining about everybody, but somebody came and called me, I'm a YouTube sensation. I've been trying to digest that insult. They said, "Sir, you are a YouTube sensation." This is a new guy I'm meeting. And he says, "You are a YouTube sensation." I thought, okay. I've been trying to process that insult and see how to get back at him, but because now more people have seen me on the YouTube than in real, so I'm a YouTube sensation. But all the stars, film stars and others don't feel insulted. They've become stars. Most people have never seen them in person, they only saw them two-dimensional on the screen, but they've become stars and people have fallen in love with them and a million love affairs are going on. But I'm not looking for a friendship or love affair from anybody, so I feel insulted because I want to zonk them. Yes, because if you… doesn't matter, picture is enough, not a real person, just a picture is enough. If you simply sit with a picture, you will get zonked. When you get zonked, most people got zonked because of alcohol or drug or something, but in a way what happened is, your intellect got fuzzy and you're feeling little samadhi. Oh, people are going to hate this, but let me tell you, because the fundamental process is same. I think it's good you asked me this question because misty mornings are the same thing. Because you cannot see, it's become beautiful. Hello? Only Shankaran Pillai has clarity about these things. Once he came to Isha Yoga Center in India and he wanted to stay for a few days. And he said, I want a room with the best view. They put him up in the first floor Chitra block because that has supposed to have the best view. Next day he came and screamed at the welcome center. Said, I wanted a room with a view, you put me in this damn place. They said, which room is it? Chitra block, number 3? Oh, that is the best view. He said, where is the damn view? The damn mountain is sitting in the way. See, when you cannot see, it's a view, isn't it? It's misty, it's foggy, you cannot see, but it's beautiful. So that is what samadhi is. You cannot see, so it's beautiful. With intellect you can see, but right now I can see your face, half of it, I mean. That's all right. But if I see deeper into your intestine, into your colon, you're not pretty, whoever you are. So this is the nature of the intellect. Intellect will cut through everything and see what is there. This is important for a diagnosis. But this is not important for aesthetic. This is not important for experience. So samadhi is a certain dimension of experience where you did not get zonked, but you brought it to a certain level of neutrality. You put your knife in the sheath, let's say, to continue the analogy. You put it in the sheath, now it's harmless. It is not cutting anything. Simply, your experience of life is wonderful. Now these samadhis, for the sake of understanding, classified into 8 different segments. Fundamentally, 2 sections or 2 dimensions. One is savitarka or savikalpa, other is nirvikalpa or nirvitarka. That means one has a certain quality. It has a quality of blissfulness, joy, love. Not love as you know it, not love as blowing, when I have this Instagram I was having an Instagram live with one of the female film stars in India, and like bubbles, all love signs were coming for her, colorful signs. I just looked at this and said, hey, why only you getting so many love signs and nobody's loving me, huh? No, Sadhguru, I see lot of love signs for you, you are seeing for me, that's how it is. She tried to explain, I said, okay. So, I'm not talking about love means being drawn towards somebody. Sweet, you're dripping sweetness within you. You may have a stoic, stone-like face, but you're dripping sweetness within you. This is one kind of samadhi. This level of samadhi allows you activity. You can function. Nirvikalpa or nirvitarka means it has no quality. Because it says it has no quality, it does not allow action. Because action needs quality. Without some quality attached, you cannot function. This is why people have been talking about goodness, love, this, that, because these are sweet ways to function. If you don't have that sweetness within you, then as you function, you get corroded. See, most people are… let us say you don't have a job, you're a young person, you got qualified brilliantly, but you don't have a job, a great misery. You may be one of the suicide cases. But you got a job, you were on top of the world because you thought you got enhanced by a job. You didn't understand, just something to do, maybe something useful to do for everybody, maybe earns your living, fine, nothing wrong with those things. But you got enhanced. Because you created this false perception within yourself that you got enhanced because you got something to do. After some time, see, the same job corrodes you. What is it that people are suffering? They're telling me some of the studies in United States, 70% of the Americans hate their job. Not dislike, hate it. I hope you're not them. If you're doing something that you hate, I can imagine what's happening within you. Now samadhi means there is no love, there is no hate, just sweetness without reason. So, you have no love or hate for anything. When you don't have love or hate for anything, you become completely not a vested interest anymore. You have no interest in anything. If you feel like it, you do what you can do. Don't feel like it, sit there. But you must be in that sweetness. You sit in bitterness, you sit in frustration, you sit in laziness. No. You're bursting with life because that's the nature of samadhi. You're bursting with life but equanimous. Equanimous means it has no intention, it's simply there. So when you have no intention and you're feeling absolutely wonderful, you become useful to me. Yes. Because if you have no intention of anything, but you're absolutely sweet, then what's the problem? 24 hours, 7 days of the week, we can do whatever we think is important in the world. If we don't like, one day we can close our eyes and simply sit back. If we think what we're doing is not working, we can just close our eyes and sit back. That's all. Both ways we are fine. So samadhi is equanimity of your intellect or your buddhi. These different dimensions of samadhi, different experiences of samadhi. Is it possible through these practices? Well, you did your Shambhavi, you must understand, though we are talking everything logically, not because I like logic, I think it's just stupid. No. That was not a mistake. It's a blunder because you cannot correct it. But it's a wonderful blunder because I saw the futility of logic long time ago, very early in my life, which solved everything for me. Because intellect gives you a feeling that somewhere you are superior to everything around you. Because dissection, what is good, what is bad, what is superior, what is inferior, what is high, what is low, it just does this, and one day it tells you you are the most superior person in the universe. That day you must know you are part of the mental pandemic. You're already there. So samadhi means you are out of the pandemic, you are equanimous. Once there is equanimity, every cell in your body will respond. Every cell in the body will respond and generate sweetness. Today they're showing you scientific evidence that there are cannabis receptors and our professors from Indiana University, Harvard, Rutgers and Florida University have done an elaborate research, I hope all of you know this, that by doing inner engineering practices, your BDNF is 300% more. Your Anandamaya production is significantly higher. That means you are experiencing samadhi a little bit. You do your Shambhavi and sit there for those few moments, nothing, but nice. This is samadhi. Well, your only problem is you may not be able to stay there. That is because you're still smart. I mean, smart means stupid. When you think I'm smart, that means you're stupid. Somebody thinks you're smart, that is okay, it's their opinion. But if you take their opinion seriously, that means you're stupid. So, this process of what we refer to as samadhi, it can flower like that in one day, or it can gradually grow over a period of time. One day is flowering, little forceful flowering we do, you know. The Bhava Spandana program which is banned right now. We make nearly 90% of the people who are in the program experience some state of samadhi, powerful. This is why that's one program they remember. 90% of the people remember this program always as life-transforming, and another 10% remember for all the back pains and leg pains and whatever else they got. One way or the other it is remembered. Yes. So, in Bhava Spandana, there is a forced samadhi. I'm saying forced, because the atmosphere is kept like a pressure cooker. Every kind of grain gets cooked, but some will spill, a few. Usually I would say maybe 2–3% will spill out. Rest, at least they're able to take their pains equanimously, which is samadhi. The pain is always a test, know this. If you can handle pain in an equanimous manner, you're in a good place actually. So, samadhi, can I experience deeper states of samadhi? Well, you have taken the first step. The second step, third step is your choice. But if you want to push, we can push you. You can become very sweet. But if you feel so sweet within you, you wouldn't want to live maybe in a crowded city, because the only reason why you're living there is, this may sound very negative, but I want you to examine this properly, not with your intellect, but just look at it as life. You're living in a city, you're living among people. See, a few million people are in one city concentrated. You think because they've all fallen in love with each other, they can't be away from each other, they're all in one place? No, it's just greed. Greed always means that I must have more than you. How much I have is not the point. Let us say I have $100 in my pocket and all of you are homeless, not eaten for 3 days. I feel like a rich man. Yes or no? But I have $1 billion in my account, but then I came here, everybody has $10 billion. I will feel terrible. This is unfortunate nature of human life. This is intellect, I'm telling you. This is the buddhi that we are trying to neutralize or neutralize does not mean kill it, but to learn to keep it in the sheath and use it only when we need to use it. When you are able to use your intellect only when you need to use it for a certain purpose, rest of the time it is in the sheath, that's good. See, right now, she should use the camera only when she wants to use the camera. But just to make sure she gets the right shot, she's always on the camera. Well, she may not get a good shot, but waiting for that one. Hey, if you can't catch the moving picture so, intellect is like this, because it's sharp, it wants to cut everything that it sees. So you learn to keep it in your sheath, and you only cut when you need to cut, otherwise you keep it in your sheath. If you do this, you are in samadhi. Samadhi does not mean you destroyed your intellect. Samadhi means you are able to use the intellect consciously as it is needed. Well, in many ways this is beginning to happen to you, but you want to go faster, you want to do more things. Well, this is why we are opening up because now we are all here, either in this center or that center. We decided we'll offer this in a much more powerful way, and we are opening up this 21-day sadhana, both here at III and at Isha Yoga Center in India. This will cost us a lot of money because we have to feed you, we have to take care of you, we have to quarantine you, give you in case you fall sick, medicine, nonsense, everything we have to do, babysit you. We even have to wake you up, we know that. But we want to do that because 21 days is substantial time for you, because maybe I'm not trying to insult you, maybe many of you have never done a full 21-day schedule of sadhana. You did 10 and one day you broke it, and then you did 11 and then one day you broke it, then you did 20 and one day you broke it. This may be the snake and the ladder game that you're playing. So 21 days has a certain significance in the system. So 21 days of focused, guided sadhana For all those who are willing, definitely your ability to develop a sense of samadhi in your life. See, do not think samadhi means you're always sitting like this. No, you must learn to be active and still be samadhi. Then activity is not a burden. Then activity doesn't corrode you to death. Activity is also life-enhancing. For most people, it's life-enhancing in the beginning. After some time, it takes such a big toll, they think suddenly leaving everything and I want to go to the forest, going to go to the ashram. They did come here. What a blunder, huh? Too much activity out here. So definitely, if you have aspirations to establish yourself in equanimity and pleasantness of being alive, samadhi essentially means this: you know the joy of being alive. You are not trapped in your own logical mess all the time. You are not trapped in your own web. What a guru means is just this. This is why I said, it doesn't matter, you don't know any practice, just look at me. You'll slowly get zonked. Because very carefully I shape myself so that the very form will zonk you. I've been conducting myself a little funny these days. Earlier, most people who've been around me for long enough, they look at me as pre-dhyana linga, post-dhyana linga, like pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. Pre-dhyana linga, nobody dare to come sit anywhere 50 feet around me, because if they sit with me, they would just be struggling and crawling and trembling all over us, their spine shaking crazy. You should see, not too many video cameras were there at that time, but there are some videos, absolutely insane stuff, okay? All these things have not been released. Probably we will be able to put it up on the Sadhguru exclusive. Just to tell you, I think we are starting the Sadhguru exclusive channel on 23rd of September, no better day than that. So those days, nobody could sit around me because of the sheer intensity. Then I said, I changed everything about my life, the way I eat, the way I dress, the way I speak, my very face. People are maybe thinking that they must… somebody came and said, Sadhguru, you could be a very good stand-up. So, they're thinking I'm stand-up. Because I changed the whole characteristic of who I am, because I saw receptivity would be much better this way. At that time, we were shooting with a rifle. Today is a weekend, they'll start shooting anytime now. But now we are shooting with a shotgun. We want to hit everybody with a pellet, not really knock them down. It's a difference of priority, because this is a time to seed people in a big way. Probably sometime, I don't know how soon, depends how people around me hasten me in that direction. I don't know how soon, but probably in a bit of time, I will once again become like that. Not necessarily that kind of phase and that kind of force, but more pinpointing things rather than shotgun shots around the world. So, I think we've produced enough material, we'll produce more in a year or two for everybody to be entertained, spiritually entertained, But focused work will come. This is why Sadhguru exclusive is coming, this is why 21-day sadhana is coming. We will do more things like that, because we once again… At that time, before Dhyana Linga, I was only interested in working with a few people who are candidates for certain things to happen. Well, with that done, then I thought we will hit the world to the extent we can. Well, we've done okay, reasonably, but still there's a lot to be done. All of you are there, young people, should stand up and do, because now the pellets are all over the place, you just have to throw it around. Yes. So once again we will go into this mode, I don't know how soon or how later, but definitely that's there on the cards. So in preparation, Sadhguru exclusive, 21-day sadhana, maybe longer things will come. These are all things which will establish one in sadhana and samadhi states, because prajna, that to bring clarity through intellect is a very long way. Very long way means, those paths which talk about prajna usually talk about lifetimes of work. But samadhi is a quick path, but you feel like a bit of a fool, happy fool. So if you don't mind feeling like a bit of a fool, I want you to understand, to realize that I'm a fool is a very big realization. If you don't mind, then samadhi is good, because it's quick. There's no question of lifetimes, this life. My concern is this life, because last round for me, so I'm not planning next life and next life, there's no such thing. So I'm very 100% clear about it. So it's this life. So samadhi is definitely the way. Where is this person from? From South Africa? Okay, wherever you are from, it doesn't matter. If you want to experience samadhi, Shambhavi is good enough. Post-Shambhavi, you simply sit there. Do it meticulously as instructions are, don't do anything else. So this is what samadhi is about, that you don't use your brilliance, because your brilliance is purely intellectual. Intellectual is not going to work. Samadhi and intellect, no. You must put it away. Not destroy it, but put it away. Put it back in the sheath. A sword will be in best quality if it stays in the sheath most of the time, and only it's pulled out when you need to do something effectively. All the time if you touch everything that you see with your sword, this will be a blunt nonsense. This is what has happened to people. So, samadhi is definitely the way. We are for that. And a few of you may even do Mahasamadhi. Don't do it in my presence, because I've had plenty. Are they playing that video or something? No. Yugarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha yasya brahmani ramate chittam yasya brahmani ramate chittam Nandati nandati nandateva. Nandati nandati nandateva. So we are with you every Sunday till the end of 2020. 2020 will be remembered for many things. I think this is one year you're not going to forget. So, let us not make it a year full of fear, torture, mental and physical torture for yourself, physically staying healthy. I don't have to instruct you, you know, just keep away from human beings. The birds and the pigs and others, the rodents have had their role, but now it's the human beings. Keep away from the human beings, and if you must be around, look like a burglar, okay? So that's about physically staying healthy, to handhold you through this year so that you don't become part of the mental pandemic. Nobody should. It's my wish and my blessing. Nobody should, so we'll stay with you this entire year, every Sunday.
निकला था वो धूमधाम से खुशियां खोज के लाने, गूगल में मिलती भी नहीं। बैंक में ढूंढा, बार में ढूंढा, ढूंढ लिए तहखाने, चुटकी भर हासिल ही हुई। टूट गया वो मस्त कलंदर, खुशियां खोज न पाया, हौसला भी हार वो गया। मूंद ली आंखें बैठ गया वो, बक बक ना दोहराया, मिल गया जो बाहर ना मिला। योगा से ही होगा, योगा से ही होगा, योगा से ही होगा, योगा से ही होगा। साधु हो या ऑफिस का वो बाबू, योगा से लाते स्थिरता। आदिकाल से बोल रहे अनादि के दीवाने,